What if I say all of this was pre-planned by Ukraine and its masters in the White House? Well, I came across this report published in NY Times late last month. US has been preparing Ukraine for a nuclear crisis for months now. It recently wired the country with radiation sensors. What does that mean? As per NY Times, the goal of this move was to make sure that if Russia attacked Ukraine with a radioactive weapon, its atomic signature and Moscow's culpability could be verified. It has also been revealed that US had already deployed the Nuclear Emergency Support Team or NEST in Ukraine, which is a shadowy unit of atomic experts. This move makes it clear that the US knew beforehand about the impending escalation between Russia and Ukraine. Furthermore, it is too much of a coincidence that Ukraine President Zelensky had to make a surprise visit to Finland. It was supposed to be a one-day foreign visit. Instead, he chose to extend it and landed in Amsterdam. Zelensky knew that his life could be in danger if he stays in Ukraine even after attempting a drone strike on the Kremlin. And soon after the strike attempt took place, propaganda warfare came close on the heels. A plethora of reports were published that suggested the attack was staged by the Kremlin itself. US-based Institute for the Study of War or ISW claimed that Russia likely staged this attack in an attempt to bring the war home to a Russian domestic audience and set conditions for a wider societal mobilization. Well, this is the same argument that the West gave after it blew up the Nord Stream pipelines. As per the script, Ukraine was quick to deny its involvement in the attack, but then this tweet spilled the beans. The Postal Service of Ukraine announced the launch of a new stamp after the night attack on the Kremlin. So Ukraine was celebrating this attack while saying it had nothing to do with it. US and Ukraine knew that an escalation of this gravity would definitely invoke fears of nuclear retaliation. And that is exactly what happened. Russia has now threatened to attack Ukraine with nuclear weapons. The Speaker of the Russian Parliament, Vyacheslav Volodin, said, "There can be no negotiations. We will demand the use of weapons that are capable of stopping and destroying the Kyiv terrorist regime." Former Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev also called for the elimination of Zelensky following the drone attack. And then you realize this is the day US and its secret nuclear team were waiting and preparing for. Effectively, the US has turned Ukraine into a nuclear test ground for its researchers and nuclear experts. Now, if this whole situation leads to a nuclear disaster, both Russia and Europe will suffer the most. Make no mistake, Ukraine is the world's food basket, and a radioactive blast would render the soil infertile and push the world into a hunger and energy crisis. We definitely don't need leaders like Joe Biden, who is shamelessly hell-bent on fueling the crisis in Ukraine and putting the world's existence at stake. Meanwhile, former US President Trump has reacted to developments in Ukraine, claiming that he would have stopped the war within 24 hours if he were the US president.
Nobody talk about peace and peace negotiations.
So if I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of 24
You can break that deal.
100%. It would be easy. That deal would be easy. A lot of it has to do with the money. A lot of it has to do with the military, that we're giving. But I would get that deal done within 24 hours. That war has to be stopped. That war is a disaster.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching Outright. We discussed the right side of the story.